Stalker. This is the one thing we have all been scared of. Movies like The Boy Next Door, Obsession, etc. tell us how dangerous a stalker can be. Although, if you haven't experienced something as such, you might feel that they're a bit over-exaggerated. I mean, who does that, right? If you think so, brace your heart because the story of Michael Arnold and his airplane is about to give you nightmares.
A pilot repeatedly circling over the village of Schuylerville, causing fear among many residents.
Why is she saying that you're stalking her?
Arnold, it's been a nightmare. He's terrorized my family and we've been so afraid. Cassie Willis, 42, told Fox News Digital. All these years he's been winning because nobody would do anything until now. Michael Arnold, 65, allegedly flew his plane over her Schuylerville, New York home multiple times a week so low that the windows rattled and the roof shook. All of this as Willis's husband lay dying of colon cancer. I didn't know if he'd fly into our home. I didn't know what he was capable of, she said. I thought, what if he shoots me? Her complaints to the Federal Aviation Administration and New York State Police fell on deaf ears, she said. Arnold has been arrested at least 5 times for the aerial torment, but nothing has deterred him. I didn't know if he'd fly into our home. I didn't know what he was capable of, Cassie Willis told Fox News Digital. Saratoga County Sheriff's Deputy Nikki Vogler slapped Arnold in cuffs on criminal contempt charges outside the town's local grocery store after allegedly tying him to a Facebook account he used to threaten Willis's daughter. Change your wicked ways, girl. Karma is a wonderful thing. Your daughter will be next. You'll see them all pass before you, he allegedly wrote. Police say he used the same fictitious account to post a disturbing message on her husband's obituary page. When time's up, time's up. We all have to live with our karma, he wrote. The latest changes came 4 days after Bennington police nabbed him at an airport in Vermont for allegedly flying over Willis's home on September 27 in violation of an order of protection. The FBI notified the Bennington Police Department, who was waiting for him at the airport when he arrived, according to a news release. Arnold pled not guilty to a slew of charges in Vermont Superior Court. In both recent cases, he promptly posted bail. The trouble started in November 2019. Willis runs Revolution Cafe in the picturesque town of 1,300 people about 200 miles north of New York City. Arnold, a retired merchant marine, used to come to the cafe several times a week. As far as she was concerned, he was just a regular customer. One day, he sent her an alarming email. It was pictures of him tied up with naked women, like 20 photos, and he was telling me to open my mind, recalled Willis, who was married. She sent him a respectful Facebook message taking exception to the graphic photos, then she blocked him. The rejection appeared to have sparked an obsession. Arnold began flying over her home, taking photos of her backyard and car, and posting them to a community Facebook page. When she headed to work, walked her dog, or took her daughter to school, she'd find him sitting in his car at the end of her driveway or hiding nearby. An anonymous package arrived in the mail with photos of her and her family with check marks next to their faces. But the package was sent from a post office without cameras, and police said they couldn't identify the sender. In November 2022, Arnold allegedly used his 1976 propeller plane to drop tomatoes on her and her neighbors' properties. The next time he flew, authorities were waiting on the landing strip of the Saratoga County Airport. They asked to look at his cell phone and found dozens of surreptitiously taken photos of Willis and her family at various locations. He was arrested for stalking, and the court issued a restraining order which did not bar him from flying over her home. I ended up losing my mind and got super scared, and I wouldn't let my daughter out of my sight, recalled Willis. But she had a more serious crisis. Her husband, Dave Willis, had been diagnosed with colon cancer. As Dave's cancer progressed, I just couldn't fight 2 battles, and I stopped calling the police because the police wouldn't do anything, she said. The entire time Dave was in hospice, he would just circle us 3 to 4 times a week. Her husband desperately wanted to help, but he was too weak. He told her, "Cassie, this isn't gonna be your forever. I promise you, you and our daughter are going to be okay." He passed away on May 22. The next day, Arnold flew over, and it felt like he was going to come through my house, and everything shook, and I'm like, I can't live like this anymore, she said, her voice breaking with emotion. Instead of focusing on burying her husband, she did an interview on May 25 with a local reporter. So I'm standing there and she's asking me questions, and then he just came and he pulled up and then sat there the entire time watching us, she recalled. The news station captured him on camera. They called Vogler, who Willis praised and said was the only officer to take the case seriously. The deputy planned to arrest him for violating the restraining order, but soon discovered that prosecutors had accidentally let it lapse. The document expired the same day her husband died, Willis said. A new protective order was issued that included a no-fly order, but Arnold took up his plane anyway. Instead of flying from Saratoga County Airport, he started to take off from Maine, then Vermont, before his latest arrest. Willis said that with Vogler and the FBI's help, she's hopeful this ordeal will finally end. I just want my daughter to see justice because she shouldn't have to see in 2023 a man do this to a woman and nobody listen, Willis said.
Why are you stalking that woman?
I was not stalking her. I was flying over town.
But you know her.
No.
You don't know her?
I don't know her at all. Never had any contact with her.
Willis said she and her family would regularly be awakened at 7 a.m. several times a week by the sound of Arnold's plane, which flew so close windows and doors rattled.
It sounded as though he was going to come through the roof of my home. It would shake the entire roof, the windows.
Arnold claimed he had only ever eaten at Willis's restaurant, Revolution Cafe in Schuylerville, once, but didn't return after getting food poisoning. He was already under a temporary order of protection issued in May and told to cease and desist from flying any and all aircraft. Arnold was arrested on 9 counts of criminal contempt for breaking the protective order and pled not guilty at his arraignment. As he left court, he was arrested again on the additional stalking charge. For his part, Arnold claims the whole thing is a misunderstanding which has been blown completely out of proportion. I have no interest in that woman whatsoever. I never have. They're accusing me of aggravated stalking. I just like to fly over town and get pictures for the community pages, he told the Bennington Banner.
I circle a lot of places, looking at people's places, homes and everything. And nobody complains about it.
Arnold was sentenced onto time served and 5 years probation. Michael Arnold now also faces a civil lawsuit by his victim. Arnold admitted he flew his single-engine plane over a woman's home multiple times in Schuylerville. Arnold has also been arrested 5 times in the last year for different charges, including allegations that he sent Facebook messages to that same woman who had a restraining order against him. Arnold was sentenced in Saratoga County Court to 6 months in jail, which he has already served. The judge put an order of protection in place prohibiting Arnold from contacting the victim. The victim, who News Channel 13 is not identifying, filed a lawsuit on August 22 in State Supreme Court of Saratoga County. Her attorney, Thomas Mortati of Harding Matsati, wrote in the brief that Arnold's conduct dates back to 2019 and was so outrageous in character and so extreme in degree as to go beyond all possible bounds of decency and could be regarded as atrocious and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. Arnold's alleged conduct also included sending her letters and packages, contacting her via social media, and showing up at her work and home. The lawsuit seeks monetary damages for her emotional distress and fear for her safety. Have you ever met a stalker that creeped you out to your core? If yes, let us know in the comment section below. Let the world know before it's too late.